So you've bought yourself a Quest and you're wondering what the best games are, but you don't have hours to watch reviews of hundreds of games? Well, have no fear, WaqMan is here. Today I will be going through over 100 Quest games and rating each one from S to F, so you know which games are potentially the best ones to go for. This video was a lot of hard work, so if you enjoyed it, please make sure you like, subscribe and share. Talking about the best, the sponsor of today's video is VRWave. This is actually a great product to have in your device because these will make sure your lenses in your headsets are protected. And the amount of movement you do in VR games and how much contact you have with the lenses, including sweat, you will be grateful you put these lenses on. The VRWave lenses don't only protect your lenses, you can even have them set to your specific prescription, meaning that you won't need to wear your glasses when you're using the Quest. Glasses can actually scratch your VR lenses pretty bad, and there will be no way of fixing them. So, if you wear glasses, I highly recommend you at the very least get the blue light filter and anti-glare lenses, as that also helps with eye fatigue. And with your VR headset being so close to your eyes, you really feel the difference. The VRWave lenses are available for the PSVR 2 as well as both the Quest 2 and the Quest 3. They're also really easy to install and remove as the lenses are magnetic once clipped on. This means you can easily take them off and clean them, much better than trying to clean the actual lenses which you might scratch. I don't need glasses, but I still use these lenses. The link to the website is in the description below. Now just before we get started, I will be giving away Peaky Blinders on the Quest. The code is in 5 parts. 3 of the parts will be in this video, 1 will be shared on my Twitter and the other in my Discord. But this will be a week after the video comes out just to give everybody a chance. So make sure you join my socials. They're linked in the description and the pinned comment. But if you missed that out, don't worry, I also have a 60k subscriber special giveaway where the winner can choose any VR game they want. And to enter that, simply like the video, subscribe to the channel, put on bell notifications and comment hashtag WaqMan60k down below. What can I say? I love to share. Well, let's get straight into the video. Now I will be going alphabetically so it's easy to follow. First, let's go through the ratings. Now remember, this is all in my opinion. If you have something different, put it in the comments. Alright, so let's go through the category. So you have S, which is a must buy, sell your kidney if you have to. A is an amazing game that should be in everyone's library. B is it's a good game, but I'll probably buy it on sale. C is an okay game, buy it on sale when you have nothing else to play or just love the idea of this type of game. Or F, I probably wouldn't recommend this. So let's go alphabetically and start with number 1, 2MD VR Football Unleashed. I would probably give this one a B. The main issue with it is the graphics, I think. We have NFL coming later on. It's essentially between them two. I haven't played the second NFL one, but the graphics in this one aren't that great. The animation isn't that great. However, the gameplay is really good. The way you throw the ball and how accurate it is, it's pretty decent. So I think it deserves a B. Next one is the 7th Guest VR, which is a horror game. This is, it's not really a horror game, it's more of a horror style puzzle game. I think this is a very good game and I think it deserves an A. So if you love puzzle games, then most likely you're gonna love this one actually. There are so many different features that I've not seen in other games. Plus it's based off of a really old style or genre. Next one is Akron, Attack of the Squirrels. Now this is an awesome game. Only issue is you need people to play with you. This is not a solo game. I believe you can add bots in, but it's essentially a family one. So I'm going to give it a C only because it's niche specific. So if you have friends and family that come over and you basically how they would play is using their phone. They would be the squirrels and you'd be their giant tree trying to protect your nuts. So if you have people that you can get, then 100% I would probably give this an A or a B. But because of how niche it is and I personally don't have that many options to play, I'm able to play when people come over. However, I think this is an amazing game. Okay, next one is Among Us VR. This is a fun game. The biggest issue is the amount of kids in it. It's like bloody hell, 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds, like what are you doing? But it is a good game. I'll probably buy on sale. It's not very expensive anyway, but it definitely doesn't deserve an A. But B is, I think, a decent one. Next one is Angry Birds. Now this again is a decent game, but it's just Angry Birds. Personally, when I was playing it, it was like it's the same as the mobile game. Just obviously you're in there in VR. The best thing about this game that would potentially making me put it into the B column is that other people can, well, you can create your own maps and you can play other people's maps, and there are so many of them, and you only get one go at it. So I think that's pretty decent for the maps that they play. Then you get to rank them and see how difficult it is. I could give this a B, but because it's just Angry Birds, so I'm gonna give this a C. So if you love it, then definitely get it. But if you want more than just Angry Birds in VR, then I think it's a C. Next one is Arizona Sunshine 2. For me, I thought this game was awesome. I really loved it. I played it, the dog got me attached, and it's a fun game. There's a lot of shooting. It's a full-on zombie shooter. There aren't that many games I feel like that. So you have things like The Walking Dead, which we'll come to later, which is a different style of game. It's an all-out zombie shooting war. So I think that's a great one. Next one, Assassin's Creed Nexus. Oh, come on. You know that deserves an A. I mean S. I'm glad they're putting AAA VR games onto the Quest. I think Meta's doing a pretty decent job. This is definitely an S. It might. Then you have Asgard's Wrath. This got a 10 out of 10 by IGN. I don't think 10 out of 10 is probably the thing, but it definitely is an S. It's between them two, to be honest. Like, which one is better? I'm not 100% sure yet. Once I've done it all, then I'll be able to get it. But once I've completed the full game for both. But right now, even as I've played so far, they're both S's, definitely. Then you have Blade and Sorcery Nomad. This is another S. And the main reason is because of the mods. If they didn't have mods, I'd probably put it lower. But mods make things so much better. It's unbelievable. It is a must-buy game for anyone who likes VR. Albeit it's not as good as the PC version, but still realistic physics, sword fighting. You can have so much into it, and especially with the Quest 3 now, which has a bit more power, I think it's really good. Next one is Cities VR. I don't know, I just really enjoyed the game, and the way that you can just zoom into it and actually feel like you're part of that city that you've created. It's a B. I'd probably, the only thing that would probably make this an A is if it had more content, but it doesn't. So like you can't get airports and all this other stuff. That would definitely make it an A. But with the limited amount of content that it has, but it's still Cities VR, I think it deserves a B. This side's kind of annoying. It's messed up my alphabetical thing. So anyway, we're on to Cosmo Dread. Seems to have skipped some of the games. I think they're probably down there. So yeah, Cosmo Dread, I would give this, it's a good, decent horror game. It's either B or C. I'd probably put it as a B. It's a decent horror game. It's got procedurally generated maps, so every run is different. Although it's kind of hard. It's a bit of a hard game. I don't know. I just don't like being restricted. I hate survival mechanics. It kind of annoys me usually, unless you can like counter for it. Here I was bloody looking for the damn oxygen for like half an hour, and eventually I ran out of oxygen trying to look for the oxygen. Ironic, but yeah. All right, next one is Creed. Creed is a decent game. I'll probably put it as a B. I think. Well, there aren't that many boxing games. You'd think there'd be a lot more. From what they are, but everyone keeps going for shooting games. But Creed, I think, is still a decent game, and I think the main selling point for it is the online multiplayer. They also have added a non-simulated stamina mode for one of the modes, but the main story, etc., which it also has as well, is you still have fake stamina. But I think it's a decent game, and I would probably buy it on sale. Next one is Breachers. I think Breachers probably gets an A. The main point I think for Breaches is that it also has crossplay, meaning that it doesn't matter which version you get, everyone can play with between themselves. So like the PC people can play with you, the PSVR 2 people, the Quest people, and I believe the Pico 4 as well. So I think that actually makes it awesome that you have, obviously VR is not really that big of a market. So being able to do, I think everyone should do that. What the heck is wrong with them? But this is a really good one. It could even be an S, but I guess it's more niche specific, it's an amazing game, so I'm definitely going to give it an A. Next one is Demeo. Now this is between an S and an A, depending on what you like. I don't know. I'll give it an S for now. It's basically like a tabletop game where you roll the dice and then you perform an action. It's mainly multiplayer. You can play solo, but it's very, very difficult. I've tried and I got killed pretty quickly. So it is multiplayer. The more you play, the more you get used to it. You use cards, etc. So I think it's a very good game, but it is more multiplayer focused, based on you have to help each other. If you don't, you're not going to survive very long. Yeah, I'm going to leave it for S for now. Beat Saber, I'm going to give it an S. And the main reason is you can get mods. With the mods, you can pick any song, so it's never ending. And I know they keep trying to charge you for new songs, but you can just get that yourself. And you can create your own maps. I made so many videos for Beat Saber, so I think that is a really good one. Next one is Down the Rabbit Hole. I would give it a B. Yeah, this is a good game. It's a good narrative. You spend ages looking for things though. It's like, oh, you gotta find something. And honestly, I spent so long like, where the heck is this? And it's just somewhere slightly in the corner somewhere. It's like, what are you doing? But it is a good game. If you like this type of like narrative, well, you're not inside them, so you're outside of it. It's more of like a platformer type of game. But it is a good one, I think. Now, Blair Witch, I would probably give this a B or a C. And you know what? It's a full narrative game, so I would probably give this a B. The dog is bloody annoying, but the game is a little bit scary. It's not as scary as I thought it would be. Eventually, when you figure out what's going on, then it becomes a little bit less scary. But it is a decent game. There's a full narrative where the guy is a bit mental. To be honest, I always find flaws in these narratives, because you're like, well, this crazy cop has been sent on his own with his dog to search for a little boy. Why is nobody helping him? And then things start getting weird, but yeah. Next one is Broken Edge. I'm going to give Broken Edge a C. The only reason I could potentially give it a B is I like mixed reality, so they've added that. That's the reason they could get a B. But essentially, it's kind of a sword fighting, yet not a sword fighting game. You basically need to hit the end part of the sword to be able to do it. I guess multiplayer is the only one that's relatively good. Otherwise, I found it okay. It was kind of boring though. So, but if you really enjoy sword fighting games, then probably put it at B. But otherwise, I think C is probably a decent one. Golf Plus. You know what? This is a good golf game, and it's evolved over time. This isn't mini golf. This is full-on golf with massive areas where you can play golf. The physics are really good. The graphics are really good. Overall, I think it's a good game. I'm just terrible at golf, but I think it's a very good game. Now, I've also added a free game in. Now, obviously, there's no sale, so probably just get it anyway. But as just a rating, I'll probably give Cards and Tankards a B. It's a cool card game, has its own rules, and there's a lot of people generally playing, and they're quite helpful. You can watch other people play. It is pretty decent, and you can buy more packs, etc. It's free, so get it anyway, but it probably deserves a B. Next one is Hauntify, Mixed Reality. Now, this I want to give higher, but I can't right now, because until it gets updated, it's an extremely unique and awesome concept. I think the developer's he's a single solo developer, but he's doing an awesome job. What it essentially is, you can make your this. I would only suggest this for Quest 3. If it's for Quest 2, I probably wouldn't recommend it. It's for anything that you actually have full pass through, because what you can do is turn your whole house into, as part of the game, where the monster basically can chase you down. Main issue is that it's literally a survival game, not in the sense of, you need to eat food, etc. It's a survival. How long can you last? Eventually you'll get caught and killed, and that's just the game over and over again. That's the reason. If it had something like more, then I'll probably give it higher, but I think the concept itself is amazing. But just on its own, it's an okay game, but if you love the idea, then I think it's a great one to get. Next one is IB Cricket. I personally love this game. I want to give it an A, but it depends on if you like cricket or not. If you like cricket, it probably is an A. If not, then it's probably a B. Yeah, the main issue with the game is it's quite expensive. So if it's on sale, I'll probably get it. If it's not on sale, then if you love cricket, then definitely get it. But otherwise, probably just wait for a sale. It has quite a lot. It just feels really good to play, and it's generally quite accurate. Obviously, there's no running. So what they could do is potentially add some sort of running mechanic if you really wanted. But here is whatever you shot you take, it'll just make a guess of this is how many runs you'll probably get. So there's never any run out. Okay, next one is keep talking and nobody explodes. This one is, I would probably say B as well. The best part about this specific game is when you have, well, firstly, you can only play this game if you have somebody else there. Not in VR, outside of VR. Because they will need to read the instructions. But if you do have somebody, then it's quite a lot of fun. You try and explain to them, look, this is what I see, and then they're trying to figure out, well, which code is it? Eventually, well, there's obviously that limits how many times you can really play, because people could potentially memorize it, but it's unlikely you will. The best part is that the multiplayer. Hopefully it doesn't cause too many fights between each other. It's like, no, this is what I told you it was, before you end up exploding. So I think it's a good game. So I'll probably buy and sell. Next one is Dungeons of Eternity. Now this is between A and B, depending on what you like. This is essentially a dungeon crawler. It's basically full RPG. You get loot, etc. But you just repeat dungeons, few different dungeons that you can do. Some give you more experience, etc., or some give you other things. There's no narrative, but which is the only reason I could potentially put it as a B. But it's a very good game. The game mechanics are very good. The multiplayer is pretty decent, and the fighting is really good. The only thing missing is an actual narrative, but I've got breaches in there as well. So potentially you could put it as a sword fighting type of version of that. Yeah, so I'm going to give it an A. Next one is Jurassic World Aftermath. This one is a B. It's around 3 to 4 hours, but I think, well, it's just essentially a hide and seek type of game. Kind of like Alien, but obviously not as good. You can't fight the dinosaurs, you just run around hiding and then whilst they go. The graphics, I think you can make your own decision whether you care for them or not. I prefer realistic ones, but on the Quest I can understand why they went that route. But yeah, I think B is probably a good one. Alright, next one is Elven Assassin. This one is potentially a B or a C. It's a tower defense game. Let's put a B for now. It's a tower defense game where you're also the archer who's shooting all the bad guys coming through. So they can obviously get to your tower and destroy it and damage it, and you lose. But it's a bit slow paced. So like it takes a long time for it to ramp up. It is multiplayer as well, which is kind of cool. But that's all it really is. It's a tower defense archery game. I get tired pretty quickly. I'm gonna have to probably give this a C. If you love archery games or like shooting, the bow and arrow is actually quite a lot of fun to use, but it gets tiring very quickly. So yeah, I think a C might be probably the best one I'm gonna give for this. Next one is Les Mills Body Combat. This one I'm going to give a B. It's a workout game. It does not have a subscription. It is a little bit expensive, so try and get it. Probably get in sale if you want to work out. But I think it's a very good one. It feels like someone's actually there, because the way that they've done it, it looks like real people are there. So they're training you, they're speaking to you. It could even be an A, but it's just a workout game. There's not really that much more to it. Everything really in VR would make you work out. But yeah, I think B is probably a good one. Next one, Lies Beneath. This is a very good game. I think it's an S. It's a terrifying game. I'm thinking of doing a full playthrough again. But it's proper terrifying, and it's like full story as well, which lasts about 5 hours. And the art style is quite unique, to be honest. You know what? I didn't mind the art style at all. I do always prefer realistic ones, but this one's quite interesting. It just adds to the freaky vibe. But yeah, I think it's a great one that I think everybody should really get. Probably one of the best ones. Next one is the Light Brigade. Now, I'm contemplating between S and A for this game, and the main reason is because they've also added in the mixed reality mode for Quest 3. I think it's a really cool one. You can shoot your walls and it looks like there's bullets there. They'll break down the wall, and usually the same mixed reality type of thing. But I don't know, I always find it really cool. But the game itself is actually very good. The only thing I think holding it back from the S is probably the narrative is a little bit like, well, I don't understand what's going on. but it does become a roguelite as well if you want it to. It could be an S. It's between an S and A. I'm going to give it an A right now because I don't know if it convinces me for a must-buy where you have to sell your kidneys. But actually, you know what? Demio doesn't either. I'm going to give this an A. Yeah, so I think an A is probably a good one. So, well, I think A is at least what it deserves, but it could even be an S. Next one is Medal of Honor. I think this probably would get a C. I feel very disappointed with Medal of Honor. It's a massive game. It's Medal of Honor, but they kind of messed it up. They ruined it, and then they let it die. They could have made it probably one of the best VR games around. The gameplay is cool. I think the main issue is that it's not any sort of free roam. It's a very linear experience. You kind of just shooting. Just shoot, move on to the next part, shoot, move on to the next part. I think that's the main concern with it. So yeah, I think C is probably the right call for this. Next one, we have Five Nights at Freddy Help Wanted. This isn't the second one, it's the first one. I haven't played the second one, so I can't really comment on it. But for the first one, I'd probably say a B. It seems to be a very popular genre. It's very, very scary for me. But I am a little bit of a chicken when it comes to horror games. You just stood in one place doing something. Once you get used to that, I think the horror element kind of goes. So I think it's a good game, but I'll probably just buy on sale. Next one is Moss and Moss 2. These are either both A's or B's. Not A's or B's. These are either both A's or S's, depending on how you feel about platformers. As a platformers, they're both S's, to be honest. And they're type of games where you can't even understand why they're so good, but they just are. You could put it as an S, or you could put it as an A. Either way, it's an amazing game. I don't think you'd be disappointed when you're playing it. But I'm going to leave it as S. I think it's a very, very good game, and the mouse is so cute, the story is great, and the interactions are awesome. I think it's a unique style of game as well. Alright, so next one is Path of the Warrior. This is a fun game, but I'll probably give it a C. It's just literally, it's a stupid fun game where you get to just beat up people and move on to the next one. You eat sausages for health recovery. You save people from being trapped in a safe with a bomb on them. You punch the bomb. It's just a stupid game, but it's a fun one, so I'll probably give it a C. Next one is Pavlov Shack. Now, this was an S when it was free. I'll probably give it an A now. Still a great game, which is why it still gets an A. But obviously, it's gone from a free to a paid. I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. But it is still a very, very good game. And it is one still highly recommended. Next one is Crisis Brigade 2. This is between an A and a B. I'd probably put it as a B. Well, it's literally just Crisis in VR. And it is such a cool game to... the best part I think about this game is that it's great for people that potentially suffer from motion sickness. It has great graphics, there's a lot of shooting, some cheap deaths sometimes, but it's just so much fun. You can just completely play until your legs give out, because your legs will definitely give out of how much you end up having to squat and trying to avoid the bullets. But yeah, I think it's a very good game. I would definitely buy on sale if it was on sale. I already have it, but yeah. Next one is Gambit. I can't recommend this game. Oh, this was such a stupid game. I think Xreal really let themselves go with this one, which is disappointing considering the other game was so great. But yeah, I can't recommend this one. I feel like it tried to be Borderlands. It just fails miserably. The AI is dumb. The gunplay is not good. It's just not a good game. The only thing making it potentially good was, well, it's a long game, I guess, but plus you can play with other people. I just didn't like the game, and it doesn't have many people playing it either. So in the beginning I might have given it a C, but at this stage I wouldn't recommend this. Alright, next one is Dash Dash World. This is kind of like Mario Kart. It is a bit of a tough C, as in it could be lower. But we only have F after that. The controls aren't that great. They don't really update that often either. So it's okay. If you love I guess, racing games in VR. You must have a really strong stomach, but yeah, it's an okay one. Next one, we have Pistol Whip. I think this is a very good game. They've added the story mode. They've added so much to it. It's between an S and an A, but I think it should be an S. You can even change the settings. You can have like shooting with both hands. Like you can dual wield. You have they've added free story mode for it. They've updated it quite often as well. So yeah, overall I think it's probably a really good one. Next one is Demeo Battles. I'm going to give this one A as well. I think the main difference is there's more battles. It's like a full-on attack. Otherwise, it's kind of similar to Demeo. I prefer Demeo still over the battles. But if you enjoy the battles themselves, I think Demeo Battles is probably one you really enjoy. Maybe even more than Demeo. But I think that also gets an A. Puzzling Places. This is a good puzzling game. Do you know what? I'm not really keen on jigsaws that much. I feel like a bit of a waste of time. But this is a very enjoyable waste of time. And they've got like the sounds. It really matches what you're doing, the environment. And when you're building it, it feels like it's coming to life. If you love jigsaws, then this is an amazing one. Next one is Drop Dead the Cabin. This one, I'll probably give this a B. And to be honest, the only reason I'm putting it even here is mainly because of the mixed reality mode. That's an awesome one. I love when I can use my own room and have the walls being knocked down. I think that's just such a cool feature. Personally, I would probably give this a C if there were without the mixed reality. Maybe even lower. But yeah, with the mixed reality levels, it's the only reason I'm putting it to B. Otherwise, it probably does deserve a C overall. So it's up to you. If you're not interested in the mixed reality one, and I'll probably put it as a C. But because of that, I love mixed reality. I think it's just a new neat feature. It might seem like a gimmick, but I don't know. It just makes me a little bit giddy. So this is the only reason I'm giving it a B. Dragon Fist. This is just a fun game. If you like fighting games, then it's a B. If not, then don't get the game at all. But it is a fun one where you get to just fight people. But it's a B or a C. But it is a little bit finicky. The fighting is a little bit awkward. It is fun, and it's probably the only one I've seen that's actually like a martial arts fighting game. I might have to put it as a C, to be honest. I think it might be similar to Path of the Warrior, but different. This is an actual fighting game, which is kind of fun. But Path of the Warrior, which again, it's not. It's just a stupid fighting game. It's better than that, but maybe not. Maybe not a B. I think they're also launching multiplayer now, and if they include that within the game itself, then I'd probably put it as a B. But without it, I think C is probably the best one I'm gonna give. Next one is Res Infinite. Now, for the PSVR 2, I would give this a higher rating because of the eye tracking. But I think I'm going to just give it a B. It's a good game. And if you like this, well, if it gives you a bit of nostalgia because of how old this style of game is, of Res Infinite. But without the eye tracking, for me, it was like, yeah, it's a good game. But I probably wouldn't buy it anymore. Probably wouldn't give it any more than a B. Next one, Song in the Smoke. I think this is a very good game. I'm going to give this an S. This is a really good survival game. You get to build, kill, die. There's a lot actually to this game. Green Hell is another one, but I haven't played it, so I can't really comment on it. But Song in the Smoke, I think, is a very good one. The art style is interesting as well. But again, I wish it was more realistic. But I still think it fits exactly how it is. You get to be a caveman and kill, craft, and do a lot actually. Next one is In Death Unchained. You know what? This is a good game. I think it should be in everyone's library based on how it is. Procedurally generated maps again, but you can also get a crossbow. You keep going, and to be honest, you can just keep going and continuously have fun. You have different levels. You have different enemies. You can go into like the demon mode, demon area. Or to bloody kick my ass every time I go there, and then see how far you can really get. But it is a really good game. Next one is Stride. This is an enjoyable game. It's between B and C, and the only reason I'm considering C is because they were supposed to add a story mode in the main Stride game, but they didn't. They created a new game for it. It's a bit unfair. It is a cool running, jumping, killing type of game where parkour style murder, but there's no story. So it's between B and C. If this had a story, I would give it higher, but I don't know. I might give it a C. You know what? I'm gonna pull down the drop the cup. Yes, great. You don't deserve a B. Yeah, I think because if you love the idea, then get it. So it's just the mixed reality is the only reason I actually even play this game. Into the Radius. This is a good game. It's very hard. I think it deserves an A. But it is a hard game, and the bloody black things just crawl at you. It's kind of freaky. Overall, I think it is a quite good game. If you like the slow pace type of try and gather as much ammo as you can, because if you waste it, you're dead type of game. If you want run and gun shooters, then this is definitely not that. Next one is Lasernauts. I feel bad for Lasernauts. One of the biggest disappointments. I can't recommend it. It could have been Valorant for VR, but they gave up on it. It was decent. They just had to work on it a little bit more. But I think initially when it launched, people were like, "What the hell?" They had a lot of issues with it. But then they tried a little bit, but then they were like, forget it, just give up on it. And they just let it die. And that's why I can't recommend it. Knockout League. I like this game. I'm going to give this a B. Well, they've added the mixed reality mode again. They've got full campaign where you get to unlock, like, you can fight an octopus, etc. A pirate, a robot, and loads of other things. It's like a fun boxing game. But I think they've done really well with the mixed reality as well. Alright, next one is Synthriders. This one I'll probably give an A. I don't think it's as good as Beat Saber, but it's pretty close. It's not a must-have like Beat Saber, but you can also use custom songs on this. I just think it's just different, but it's still really good. So if you have a look at Synthriders, does it look interesting? I think it definitely deserves an A at least. Next one is Last Labyrinth. I'm gonna give this a C. Yeah, it's an okay game. There are multiple different endings, very, very short, but multiple different endings. I did loads of endings, and I still didn't figure out what the hell is actually happening. Why this girl got kidnapped. I can't remember. I did finish the game, but I think I finished the game. I don't know how many options you can really go for. But after a few endings, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, so I can't. It's an okay game. It's gruesome deaths for the girl. So depending on how you feel about that. You make a mistake, she's dead. Next one, Clean Sheet. I'm going to give this a B. Because it's a fun, goalkeeping game. If you enjoy football, or specifically goalkeeping, this is a cool one. Just be careful, don't jump into a wall, because the wall's still there in real life, even if you can't see it. But I think it's if you like football and goalkeeping, then this is a really good one. And like if you want to train your maybe reactions, I think it's a good one. But again, probably just buy on sale. All right, we're on Tetris Effect. I think that's an A. It's Tetris, but it's really cool. Like the music, the environments, and not only that, you can play multiplayer, which is pretty cool. I don't play multiplayer because I'm not very good at the game in the first place. So I just play single player, and when I lose, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine, no big deal, no humiliation by the other players. But I think it's a really good one though. Les Mills Dance. Now this one is same. Well, I probably just put it same place as Les Mills Body Combat. Put it here. This is a dance one. I think Body Combat is still better. The dancing is okay. It kind of makes me feel a bit weird because they've got funky hip type of dancing, and the guy doing it is like, dude, you're like a middle-aged man. Why are you doing this? But other than that, yeah, it's a fun game. Do it when no one's watching, otherwise you will be a little bit embarrassed. Next one is Thief Simulator. Now this is a game that everybody asks if I show a gameplay video of. Well, what is this game that you were playing? It's Thief Simulator. I think it's a really cool game. You go in, break into people's houses, steal as much as you can, and take it away without being caught by the people who live there or by the police. Sell it, grow, and it's essentially the more you steal, the more you can steal, and the bigger places you get. I think it's a really cool one. The Room VR. Now, this is a good game from my... Yeah, it's kind of like the Seventh Guest, but this one you won't feel motion because here you need to move around. With the Room VR, I think the puzzles are awesome. The graphics are great. The environment's really cool. The story, I still didn't understand what it was. But you know what? I loved it. And I'm not really into puzzle games anyway. But I thought it was a great one. Bone Lab. I gotta give this an S. With the mods and everything, and the full story in the first place, I can't give it anything less than that, to be honest. Vacation Simulator. I don't like it. The only reason I got this game was for hand tracking. It was boring. I guess it's great for kids and stuff, but otherwise it's boring. It's like just a bunch of mini games. I guess the humor is a little bit okay, but yeah, I'm not really too keen, to be honest. Next one is Onward. I'm going to give Onward an A as well. I think the main issue with Onward was how they screwed over the PC players by reducing the graphics so much. But for the Quest, it's a good game. But I think it's just so slow paced. I just don't care for it that much. If you love slow paced games, then I guess it definitely is for you. But it's okay. It has cool features in, and the only thing it's missing is like mods. You can get custom maps, but mods is a different thing. We'll come to another game which does have it, which is why I personally prefer that one over this. Right, next one is Paradise Hotel. This is between an A and a B, honestly. I don't know. I've recently played this, so I might have some recency bias. I could give it an A. If you love horror games, it's an A. I hate horror games, not because not horror game. I hate horror games because I'm like, oh my god, I want to play. Yeah, so I don't really like crying, but this is a very good one. And the length is okay. Horror games aren't very long anyway, but I'd probably say it's about 3 hours long, maybe 4 hours long. Could even be 5 hours long, depending on how you play. But I think probably the average is around 4 hours long. This is from the same people as Propagation VR, which is the really good free PC game where you just stand around and shoot. So it's that, but built on it in more of a horror way. I'm gonna give this an A. Yeah, I'm gonna give this an A. I think it should be in everyone's library. I wish they added multiplayer in though. It could even be an S if it did that, to be honest. But for now, yeah, it doesn't have that, so an A it is. Walking Dead Retribution. I think the Walking Dead games are really cool. I'm just gonna find the other one as well. Don't have time to waste for this. Yeah. Both of these, I think they're S's because, well, they're fantastic games. They're full-on story. You choose what you want to do. You choose whether you're a saint or a sinner. The second part of it is more action, I think. I enjoy the second part more. The story's better than the first one, but both of them are really fantastic. Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. I think this is a B. Yeah, horror game again, with around 5 to 6 hours story. I think it's just a little bit the gameplay is a bit linear. Yeah, it's not as enjoyable as, for example, the Paradise Hotel. I think that might be better. But again, could be a bit of a recency bias. But yeah, I think B is probably a good one to put in. Swordsman VR. Now, the issue for Swordsman is there are games like Blade and Sorcery here, Dungeons Eternity here, and I don't know if there's more. Well, now we've got Assassin's Creed, and yeah, so which is the reason I can't really recommend it over other ones, so I'm gonna have to put it as a C. If you really love sword fighting, it is a good sword fighting game. It has realistic, sword fighting mechanics. It's purely that though. It's sword fighting. It's a sword fighting game. I still prefer Blade and Sorcery over that because, well, I don't know how many people enjoy really sword fighting. I feel people enjoy more murder, which is why that is an S. But it is a good game. It could be a B as well though. I think it needs some sort of mods or something to become better. So right now it's okay. Yeah, so I'll probably put it as a C. I Expect You to Die 2. I think this is an A. I haven't played the third one, and I don't remember playing the first one. But I Expect You to Die 2 is a good game. I didn't play the first one, but it tells you a little bit of story about the first one in the second one. So if you can, get the first one as well and play that first, because otherwise you won't get the references it's making. And I'm assuming the third one's the same. So, but it's an enjoyable puzzle type of game where you need to figure out what's going on. It has an interesting story. But in overall, it's a pretty good game. Next one is Population 1. Now, this is a free game, so I'm going to say it's an S. It was a good game even without it being free, but now it's free, so there's no way that I'm not going to recommend and say you have to have it. You don't even need to sell your kidney, you just get it for free. So for Population 1, it's a definite, make sure you get it. Next one is Real VR Fishing. I would say this is probably the best VR fishing game that on the Quest. It's awesome. It's amazing. You basically can catch fish, make money, get better bait, get better rods, get more fish, and you can spend hours and hours and hours upon it. So if you love fishing, then this is a definite one. Sell your fish if you have to. Next one is Super Hot VR. Now, this is a very old game now in comparison. I'd probably put it as a B. It's good still, like there's obviously nothing wrong with the game, but I can't recommend it over the other ones that I've put up there. It's a puzzle game essentially, and so it's again good game, buy on sale. Next one is 11 VR Table Tennis. This is a very good table tennis game, but that's about it. It's a table tennis game, so it's between an A and a B. It's a very good game. If you like table tennis, it's a definite A. I'd probably put it. Yeah, do you know what? It's the best table tennis game on the Quest. I'm gonna have to give it an A. Next one is VR Chat. It's not as good as the PC version. So I'm not gonna give it an S. I'm gonna give it an A. It's decent. You can now with the Quest 3, so we've got more power. You can do more things. It has mini games. You can talk to a lot of people. I guess it should be one for everybody's library. Next one is Gone. Gone, I'd probably put it as a B. It's just you don't think about it. You just kill these funky things. I don't believe it has any mods from what I've seen. And you just murder these fat little guys or stocky ones. But that's about it. It's just a fun, stress relieving type of game. Get it on sale. Could even get a C. Probably put it as a B. It's still fun though. Cubism. Give this a B. I hate puzzles, man. There's so many puzzle games, but I love it's hand tracking. It's pass through. You can just play it and still watch TV or something. I think that's really cool. Yeah, it's a good game. If you love puzzle games, like the way it is, where you need to, I guess, put the cubes into the area. I get stuck so often, and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is what it was. But yeah, no, it's a good game. I'd probably put it as B. Next one is Orbis VR. I'm gonna have to give this a C. It's okay. It was one of the first MMORPGs, but they didn't do much with it. It could have been so much better because they've got different classes. You've got different. Do you know what? I really want to give this a B, but I don't think I can because of the lack of updates and the things they've really content-wise haven't really done that too much to it. But because otherwise, the different styles of play that you've got, the wizard where you actually need to make the gestures to be able to make the specific moves, which is a bit of bloody pain in the ass. And not only that, it doesn't even do that much damage. You'd think the wizard would have more damage because you actually need to make the moves rather than just press a button. But yeah, because of how old it is and it's starting to lack players, and it's not that much fun really. It kind of gets a bit boring. But yeah, I feel like they let go in. This one just makes me sad because of nostalgia, I guess, when it came out. Resident Evil 4 is an S. Yes, I know the remake version has come out on the PSVR 2, which is obviously better. But if you don't have a PSVR 2, Resident Evil 4 on the Quest is fantastic. However, if you've got a Quest 3, unless they've updated it, last time I checked, you can't even play it. And it just crashed on me. So I would give it an F for that. But for Quest 2, and if they've updated for Quest 3, then it's a definite S. I would check that before. I haven't checked it since. So make sure you check that on. And what you need to do is refund it as soon as you can if it doesn't work on your Quest 3. Survival Nation. I really enjoyed this game. I think it's a B. The main issue with the game is obviously there's not really a story. It says Survival Nation. You get put into a camp and then you just essentially survive. You complete quests, kill zombies, make money, buy weapons, buy ammo, kill zombies, make money, buy weapons, buy ammo, and then just carry on. And it's it's multiplayer, so you'll be doing it with people. You can help people randomly in the world. So you could be just walking down and this guy's getting jumped by zombies and you could just help out, and I guess vice versa as well. Alright, next one is NFL Pro Era. This is better than this one, 2MD, but I'll probably still give it B. If they combine the both of them, like the NFL Pro Era looks so much better than 2MD. But obviously 2MD is made, I think one guy makes that one, so that's pretty impressive. But the NFL one just looks better. The controls and accuracy of 2MD is better, but I don't know. If I had to pick one of them two, personally I'd probably just go with the NFL Pro Era one. Next one is the Exorcist Legion VR. This is definitely a B. Mainly because, well, one, it's so scary. I find it so scary. Anybody plays it, apart from one person I showed it to who had such delayed reactions, he didn't even know when something scary was even happening. The only issue is there's not really any sort of fighting. It's wandering around, touching stuff, figuring out stuff, and then scary stuff happening. So it's only good for the first time. After the first time, you're like, yeah, okay, you're not really going to get scared again. So I think B is probably the best that I would give this, but get it on sale. Next one is the Vader Immortal series. Now, obviously, you need all three because they're extremely short. But it's a fun game. It's good though, but it's so short. Like, I think you can finish the whole game or all three parts of the game in like 2 hours maybe. But then you do have, I guess, like a dojo mode. The issue is it's good, but it's between them two. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a C. Next one is 4VR Darts. I just didn't care for it that much, to be honest. I think 4VR seem to be, they keep making like loads of different games, trying to get into all fields. I don't really care for darts. It's sometimes either too easy or too hard. Those are the only two options. It's never. Yeah, I don't really care for it. So if you love the idea, then get it. But otherwise, I'm not really going to recommend that. Walkabout Mini Golf. I think that's an S. I think that's a really fantastic mini golf game. The maps are amazing. The design is awesome. I think it's probably, well, I don't know if it's the only mini golf game, but even if there are more, I think this is probably the best one. Rec Room. It's free, so definitely get it. But I'd probably still just give it an A. Should I give it an S? Yeah, you know what? The only reason Rec Room is even on this list is because of the amount of games you can really play. For kids, it's an S. If you're a child, get it. But for adults, I wouldn't even give it an A, really. It feels weird being there because it's just for kids. At least VR chats have small grown-ups, but with Rec Room, you're just surrounded by children. Next one is Vampire: The Masquerade Justice. I think it's a B. It's kind of cool. It kind of feels like Batman, but if Batman couldn't fight, you can take down mainly about one guy if you really wanted to. But it's a stealth game essentially with an RPG as well. You get to unlock things. You unlock new powers. Unlock things to make it easier for you to kill people. But it's mainly a stealth game. Yeah, so I think it is a good one though, so I'll probably give it a B. Gorilla Tag. Now, this has become paid, so you know what? I'm going to give it an A, and the main reason is because of, well, the uniqueness of the game. The community is kind of toxic though, so just be careful with that. Again, full of kids. Every time I go into it, it's just a bunch of racist kids as well. It's not just normal kids. So yeah, it could be B, but you know, if you're a child, definitely get it. Well, no, actually, if you're a child, you definitely enjoy it. If you're not a child, maybe it's a B. But for now, I'm going to give it an A. Aspire 2. With the mixed reality update, I would probably give this an A. yeah, it's to be honest, it's a full game anyway. Then you have the mixed reality part as well, which is, it doesn't work as well as it wants to, and I wish it did. But you still have the full game that you can play. I'm gonna give it an A for now. Next one is Guardians Frontline. They've been bought out recently by a bigger company, but even for now, it's a good game. I'll probably just buy on sale. Yeah, but it's mainly multiplayer, you know. I think the multiplayer is kind of fun, but it's repetitive. It's just doing the same thing over and over again with the same style of guns. It's not. Yeah, I'd probably just give it a B. Alright, next one is Premium Bowling. I think this one deserves an A. For me, it's the best bowling game on the Quest. It's got realistic physics, it's got great graphics, it's got really good multiplayer, great maps. It just looks really good as well, and it's actually true to its name. It's premium bowling. You feel like you're really there, and the way that and the way that you feel once you actually beat another opponent, a real life one, like you've beaten them in real life, it's pretty cool. But then you have 4VR Bowl, which I would probably put as a B. One cool thing about 4VR Bowl is that it has mixed reality now as well. Premium bowling doesn't, although I don't really care in this context. My main issue with 4VR Bowl is it's not realistic. The physics aren't that great. It's quite gimmicky. I actually just want a bowling game. I don't want like superpowers in a bowling game. That's my main concerns with this one, and which is why I would always personally prefer premium bowling. But if you want just a more of a childish one personally, then 4VR is for that. But if you want a realistic premium bowling game, then premium bowling is the one for you. All right, next one is The Thrill of the Fight. This is probably an A, maybe B. Say B? No, it's an A. It's an A. It's so cheap. Yeah, there's no sales. It's really cheap. The only issue with it is that there's no multiplayer, and the graphics aren't very good. But it's the thrill of the fight, dude. It's like a must buy. It should be in everyone's library. It's a cheap boxing game that you will have an awesome time with. It's something you can show to everybody. No one's gonna feel sick on it. And now they've even added mixed reality on it. So yeah, should I give an S? No. A is probably the best one. Next one is FPS Enhanced Reality. I'll probably give this a B. This is similar to Hauntify, but for FPS. I think, again, with this one developer who's doing it, it's an awesome thing. But to be honest, if it's 100 developers or one developer, doesn't matter. Your money's your money. But I think this is a fantastic, awesome concept that nobody else has done from what I know. You basically turn your whole house into someone where, basically like John Wick, where, when they attack his house, you go around shooting people and running around in your own house and people popping out. And the developer has added features in where you shoot your desk and there'll be bullet holes left in it. It's actually fantastic. The main issue with it is it's setting it up. Now, he's added new updates where you can use the Quest 3 to do it, but it's still quite awkward and annoying to do. But once you've done it, you can save it, hopefully it stays, and then it is a fantastic one. The graphics aren't great, but it's such a cool, unique concept that, yeah, I think you should get it if you can. Next one is The Waltz of the Wizard, with hand tracking as well. I think this gets a B. To be honest, it's a big game now. You can use hand tracking, you can use voice commands. It's not as fun as I would have thought it would have been. It's okay. Yeah, so it's a good game, but I'll probably just buy it on sale. Contractors, I would give an S. Where is it? Yeah. Mainly because of mods. It's a fantastic game. It's like you can literally play Call of Duty maps on Contractors. You have a zombie mode. You have so many things you can do in Contractors. I personally think it beats out Onward and Pavlov. If I were to rate them, I'd probably go Contractors, Pavlov, and then Onward. But Contractors for me is definitely an S. Red Matter 2. It's between an S and an A. I'd probably give it an S. It's one of those ones where it's become the level that all the other VR games graphics are tested with. So yeah, I think Red Matter 2, and it's a great puzzle game as well. Good narrative. Yeah, I think it's an S. Next one is Ven VR Adventures. I wanted to give this a B, but I'm going to have to give this a C. If you love platformers, then get it. The only issue I had with it was that it gets frustrating really quickly. The first few levels are really cool and really fun, but then it starts to become frustrating, and mainly because the camera and the controls. I could give it a B though. You know what? No, I'm going to give it a B. It deserves that. It is a decent game. Yeah, no, it is a good game. But remember, it can get frustrating. Barbaria. This is, I don't know, I really enjoyed this game. Can you go higher than a B? I don't know. I kept dying though near the end. Well, not even near the end, but basically you have your Barbaria, you get your people, and you can take down other people's worlds. It's like a Clash of Clans, kind of. It's a very enjoyable game, actually. I would recommend this. Even if it's not on sale, maybe. I don't know. It should have been everyone's library. No, I think B is a good one. Richie's Plank Experience. This is you know what? It's one that should be in everybody's library. It's not an A game, but the reason it should be in everyone's library is because this is the first game everyone would show someone who's new to VR. And then this is the one where people fall over, all those things that you see, people jumping into their TVs, is because of this game. This is one of the ones that is a must-have show-off. It deserves the A, but there's nothing more. It's a plank. You can another level. You can fly around, and yeah, that's about it basically. There's a spider cake. There's not much to it. That's the main issue with this one. But it is cheap. Yeah, it should be in your library, but it's not a quality game. Now we're into It's a Peaky Blinders. I can't really do the accent, but I think it's a B. It's a good game. It has its issues. Like obviously you can't do anything. Like it's not fully open world. You can go back and forth, but it's not really open world. It's quite linear. It tells you where to go, and you essentially go there. It has really cool features. I think it's a very good game, to be honest. And this is the game I'm giving away as well. So here's the code. And now the rest of what I told you, one will be on Twitter, one will be on my Discord. And so hopefully one of you guys can get this game. But I think it's a B. Could it be an A? No, I think B is probably a good one. Next one is Rogue Ascent. This is an interesting game. It's a unique, very unique concept. I would give it a B. It's basically hand tracking. It's the most fully fledged hand tracking game, I would say, that I've found. You fire your weapons using hand tracking. You move forward using hand tracking. You physically have to turn around. But the main issue I had with it is, well, it's just that it's like the full game is the full gimmick. It is fun, and there's a story kind of as well. There's no voiceover, but it's more of a written. Oh, the music is so loud in this game though. I was trying to record, but I was like, I can't record this. I can't even understand what the hell's going on. And I personally couldn't find the settings to turn off the music. So if that's not there, developers, you definitely need to add it. I think that's probably one of the main reasons why the issue is because of the lack of the controllers. You can't use your controllers. There's no option. You have to use hand tracking. But it is a really good one. So which is why I would say it's a good game. Get it on sale if you are interested in hand tracking game. You can get new weapons. You can level up your weapons. You can proceed forward. Strange thing was that when you fire your weapons, the aim is like automatic, so the bullets curve like you're in that movie Wanted. And then next we've got Robo Recall. This one is a classic, but based on the amount of games that we've got now, I'm gonna have to give this a C. It's still a good game, but yeah, it's very short though. As in, we've got too many good games to be able for it to really be much higher than that. Should you get on? No, I think C is probably a good one. Then we've got Gods of Gravity. This is free. I'm gonna put this as an A. This is a really, do you know what? There's so much to this game that I can't even. It'll take me a lot longer, and we're already over an hour it seems for this. So just. Yeah, it's a very good game. Have a look into it. There's so much for it, and it's free, so definitely should be in your library if you enjoy this type of style. Then we have Zenith, and Zenith is the MMORPG that Orbis wanted to be, but Zenith didn't do that great a job either. They're still working on it, still developing it, still adding stuff into it, but I think it's a good game. I'd buy on sale. I think Orbis could have been better than Zenith, but they let it die. And then we've got Zero Caliber. I would give this an A. I would give this an S if it had mods. If it had mods, it was a definite S, but it doesn't. However, it does have quite a lot of different other things. It's got full story, it's got co-op play, they've also added PvP, they've also added zombies. So yeah, the only thing holding it back is potentially mods. And if they did have it, then and we had like similar maps to Contractors, etc., then I would say it would even be better than Contractors. But right now it's an A. And that's it. That's all of the games. That's over 100 games. For anybody still watching, thank you very much for watching this long. But let me know what your top games are, or if you disagree with anything I put up there. If you do, please let me know in the comments. And make sure you enter the giveaways. Well, thanks for watching. Have a great day, stay safe, and see you next time.